This was not expected. What started off as a few gossip sites rumors has now developed into a significant media frenzy after Tamar Braxton officially filed a harassment complaint against Mendeecees. The entertainment business apparently expressed disbelief. Social media is in disarray. The company is divided, and fans are shocked by the revelation. How could the relationship between these two have grown so out of control? And when the truth was revealed, how could Yandy, who was formerly thought of as one of the strongest women on reality TV, cry uncontrollably, and allegedly file for divorce? Sources claim that the event unfolded like a tragic movie full of unexpectedness, betrayal, and poignancy. This is one of the most talked about stories in recent memory thanks to screenshots, voice notes, and comments from purported witnesses. Examined our motives, loyalty, and the line separating fame from misery as Tamar supposedly takes the dispute to court. Yandy's life seems to be falling apart in real time. Those who earlier thought of her and Mendeecees as a power couple are crushed by their public breakup. What really happened behind those closed doors? And why? Why is everyone suddenly against Mendeecees? This story is becoming increasingly messy. Hold on tight. The entertainment business as a whole froze when the first accusations surfaced. The shocking news that Tamar Braxton had sued Mendeecees for harassment began to circulate on gossip blogs, after alleged court records were connected to what had previously been dismissed as a baseless rumor. The news quickly appeared on all of the major blogs. What they read startled the admirers. The same guy who had publicly promised loyalty and atonement while he was away, Mendeecees, was now accused of a crime that could forever harm his character. The allegations state that the assault happened weeks ago during what was meant to be a casual business meeting at a swanky hotel in Los Angeles. According to reports, Tamar went to a secret meeting with producers and managers to talk about potential collaborations for her upcoming project. Attendees reportedly joined the group later that evening after going to the same place for unrelated reasons. Since it was common for celebrities to congregate in these places, no one first gave it much thought. But as the evening went on, something changed. Witnesses reported tension between Tamar and the Mendeecees, and Tamar appeared to be growing more uncomfortable. According to an internet statement from an insider, Tamar quietly left the party and went to her room, possibly to rest. However, it was reported soon after that someone saw Mendeecees walking along the same hallway. The details became unclear after that, and conflicting reports from different sources emerged. Some reported nothing happened, while others said Tamar later called her assistant in despair. Whatever had happened, there was no doubt that Tamar had filed a lawsuit, and the situation was severe. When the news broke, social media went crazy as hashtags containing Tamar's name surfaced on Twitter and Instagram. Fans split into two groups. Some individuals praised Tamar for having the guts to speak up and demand justice and offered her their unwavering support. Some questioned the timing though, claiming it was too sudden or strange. "I love Tamar, but something doesn't add up." A fan posted on Twitter, "Why right now?" As the argument intensified, thousands of videos and comments explored every possible point of view. By morning, it was said, "Don't question a woman's pain just because the man is famous." But Yandy was having an unexpected nightmare. She reportedly found out about the lawsuit online just like everyone else. Those close to her claimed that she started crying after being startled by the articles. One of Yandy's friends wrote on her blog that she thought Mendeecees had changed. She loved and trusted their family. Yandy's earlier Instagram story, which included the words "hurt beyond words" on a simple black background, had already been screenshotted by thousands of people. After a day, the story vanished. Fans commented, "This is her worst fear come true," after noticing that Yandy had completely stopped updating on her site as the situation worsened. Entertainment media attempted to get official statements. Tamar's team just stated that everything would be taken care of by her attorneys. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' camp released a brief statement denying any wrongdoing. The declaration that Mendeecees respects all women and has never engaged in any form of harassment incensed the internet, which declared that the claims being circulated are completely false. The internet was searching for proof, facts, or anything that would demonstrate who was speaking the truth. The fire was stoked by a gossip podcast that claimed to have exclusive information from someone who was present that night. Tamar left the event in a very angry state. According to the presenter, and hotel staff later confirmed that an altercation of some kind had occurred next to her suite. It was impossible to determine with certainty whether something was real or just a tale. The situation was made worse by an unidentified video footage that began circulating online. Mendeecees were allegedly seen on shoddy security camera at Tamar's hotel door. The inability to verify the veracity of the tape was irrelevant. When people saw it, the narrative was already beginning to take shape in their minds. Tamar's silence revealed a lot throughout the days. She didn't post, didn't respond to comments, and avoided making any public appearances. Tamar's close friend reportedly remarked, "Tamar is heartbroken, but she's standing strong." Her remark alone started a new discussion. She wants to let the truth come out in court, not on social media. Supporters said it brought back memories of Tamar's many victories over public setbacks, including heartbreak, scandal, and betrayal. However, the pain was more intense, profound, and personal this time. A few days later, was observed leaving a courtroom with a furious face while attempting to remain composed. He ignored the questions that photographers shouted at him. "Did you actually harass Tamar?" inquired one reporter. "Is Yandy abandoning you?" inquired another. His silence just fueled speculation. By that evening, there were rumors that Yandy was considering divorce and that Mendeecees had scheduled a meeting with his attorneys. Yandy's world collapsed at this point. She was reportedly trying to deal with the stress and humiliation of her marriage becoming the subject of a public dispute. One of her pals claims that she has been crying continuously and that she can't even look at her phone without seeing her husband's name connected to anything horrible. An informant claims that Yandy is devastated. She doesn't know what to believe anymore. A moment from an earlier episode of the reality show replayed in which Yandy sobbed while admitting that they had never been able to trust anyone. In response, she had said, "I love him, but love doesn't erase mistakes." People continued to reenact that scenario over and over again, connecting it to the current charges. Fans began searching past interviews of Mendeecees and Yandy for signs of marital trouble. As the tension grew, the industry's reaction was similarly forceful. Producers, who had previously collaborated with Tamar, posted their support online, and several of Mendeecees' peers advised against passing judgment too quickly. "We don't know the full story yet, so everyone needs to calm down," a fellow reality star said. But since social media was already taking sides and the story was spreading more quickly than anyone could stop, the advice was disregarded. Yandy apparently packed up her things and departed the family home at the conclusion of the week. She appeared unhappy in a paparazzi photo as she entered a hotel while sporting a hooded sweatshirt and dark glasses. After the picture went viral, many people commented on it, saying things like, "She deserves peace and you can't heal where you're hurt." However, some people thought Yandy was taking advantage of the situation to gain notoriety, a notion that her supporters rapidly disproved. The scene appeared to be a terrible television drama taking place in real life, with Mendeecees' stoic denials, Tamar's quiet strength, and Yandy's obvious sadness. The more people dug, the more complicated everything seemed to get. Every claim raised a new question and every pause seemed to confirm it. Everyone in the world was enthralled with the tale and eager to see who would expose it first. As the media storm intensified, supporters who had previously viewed Mendeecees as a rehabilitated family man began to doubt everything. Blogs began bringing up his past disputes, incorporating historical details into the present. Every mistake he had ever made was replayed in online comment sections. Instead of just discussing the case, people were now analyzing his entire personality. One comment said, "Once a cheater, always a cheater," while another countered, "You can't judge someone's past when they're trying to change." Despite their cautious approach, Tamar's team was reportedly preparing a formal statement to clarify what truly transpired. One of Tamar's agents allegedly told a reporter, "Tamar doesn't want this to turn into a circus." Fans began sharing personal tales, tagging her in supportive comments and using hashtags like #StandWithTamar and #JusticeFort in response to this statement alone, which generated yet another surge of online sympathy. She just wants to be heard and respected, wants to be heard and respected. In the interim, Mendeecees made an effort to behave normally, but cameras followed him everywhere. The tension began to show. No one could tell if he was talking to Yandy, his attorney, or a friend. But one witness reported hearing him say something about Lies ruin. This reported hearing restaurant. However, it was clear that he was collapsing under the weight of everything. The confident public image that the people saw on television was deteriorating. Yandy, it was reportedly relying on her closest friends and family, though insiders claimed that she had started going to therapy to deal with the emotional stress, even if she hadn't made it public. Many were devastated by the idea that a once powerful couple was breaking up over something so evil. One acquaintance said Yandy is not herself anymore. Some even went back and commented on her previous tweets about loyalty and forgiveness, saying things like, "You deserve better and keep your peace." She's trying to be strong for the kids. But this broke something inside her. Things became even more heated when a leaked voice message began circulating online. "I just wanted him to leave me alone," sobbed a lady who sounded like Tamar on the tape. Even though the video's authenticity could not be confirmed, it immediately attracted a lot of attention with titles like, "Is this Tamar talking about Mendeecees?" Others, however, believed the movie was fake, possibly altered or removed from its original context, but it didn't matter because the internet had already found Mendeecees guilty. It was reposted on gossip sites and proof of harassment. Tamar's statements like, "I would never do something like that. I know my truth. But people believe anything they see online. And I respect all women make me think highly of him. This story, it's not who I am." Management team arranged an exclusive interview for him to set the record straight in an effort to repair the damage. Mendeecees appeared exhausted and spoke in a calm but firm tone. Some viewers said he seemed serious while others thought his tone was forced. One person commented, "He's crying because he got caught, not because he's innocent." The most shocking development to date was the dissemination of a document purportedly from the court system that contained Tamar's formal complaint. The email, which described a series of unwelcome interactions and persistent contact that left her feeling unsafe and distressed, sparked an even greater frenzy, but attorneys on both sides refused to verify its accuracy. Within hours, hundreds of videos and in-person conversations that scrutinized and analyzed every word and paragraph emerged. Fans' hopes for a reunion were dashed when Yandy said she's been holding on for years, forgiving him for things the public never knew. According to insiders, Yandy had discussed the situation with a divorce lawyer and that a decision was about to be made. This was the last straw. Despite being kept out of the public eye, the couple's children became a hot topic of discussion among supporters who sympathized with Yandy and were worried about the emotional toll this upheaval would have on her family. People were so engrossed in Yandy's story that some even started online fundraisers with the stated purpose of helping her through the healing process. Even though Yandy never acknowledged them down in the midst of all this public drama, Tamar returned to social media with an enigmatic tweet that simply stated, "The truth doesn't need defending." It's a simple photo of her reflection in a mirror went viral in a matter of minutes, receiving thousands of comments. While many critics accused her of being attention-seeking and playing the victim, fans showered her page with kind and encouraging comments, praising her as brave, and strong. Everyone was left wondering what Tamar would do because she didn't respond to any of them. Mendeecees answered a few hours later with a lengthy Instagram story that read, "I'm tired of remaining silent. My name is being used to create false narratives. I've but not in this instance. I'm pleading with everyone, wait for facts before you judge me." This was a rare emotional outburst from a guy who had built a reputation for control and discipline. "My family and children are exposed to this material." However, that message did not save him either. A plethora of memes and spoof movies appeared mocking his situation and portraying him as a fool and a villain. In a single week, he lost several business connections and had to cancel an unscheduled public appearance. Tamar was reportedly negotiating a restraining order and damages with her legal team. The story, which had started out as a single case, had grown into a cultural spectacle, a never-ending tale of betrayal, heartbreak, and public disillusionments far beyond anyone's expectations. Fans felt a sense of intimate connection as if they were watching a real-life soap opera drama unfold. Scandal after controversy and the truth seemed farther away every day. Yandy remained mute, but her silence screamed louder than words. People knew that something was going to happen and that everything would change when it did. Even while debate shows examined every news story and cameras flashed outside curses when fresh rumors emerged. A few days later that Yandy had formally filed for divorce. The city was once again in a frenzy. Her dark glasses, unreadable expression, and stiff yet determined stance were captured by paparazzi as she entered a courtroom. Some fans accused her of taking advantage of the situation, while others flooded comment sections with heartbreak emojis and phrases like, "She held it together for too long and no woman deserves this," along with captions like "Yandy finally breaks free and the end of an era." People close to Yandy claimed that she had been considering divorce for months prior to Tamar's case becoming public. This story simply gave her the motivation she needed. She's been unhappy. One insider said the faith has long since vanished. Had it that she had discovered disturbing texts between Mendeecees and another woman weeks earlier, though it was unclear if they were romantic or indecent. But for Yandy, it was enough. People claimed that she was now motivated by calm rather than rage. In the meantime, court documents started to appear online, and Tamar's case had formally entered the legal system. Specific incidents that allegedly took place during a late-night hotel seminar were described in great detail. The phrase Tamar versus Mendeecees was used extensively on all social media platforms as Tamar's attorneys described a series of unwanted advances and persistent attempts to establish physical contact despite verbal objections. However, Mendeecees' legal team quickly denied the allegations, saying they were baseless and crafted to damage reputation. Top programs picked up on the story right after. "This is one of the most shocking celebrity cases we've seen this year," a popular morning show stated. "But we have to remember, these are still allegations." Other co-hosts said, "You have a beloved R&B singer, a reality TV star, and a marriage falling apart all at once, it's explosive." However, the audience didn't really care about the last statement because nothing has been proven yet. After the court documents were widely circulated, people formed their opinions. He was wearing a simple black sweatshirt, sitting in what looked to be his home office. Obviously tired and speaking in a calm but passionate tone. "I know people are hurting," he said, pausing before adding to Tamar, "I wish you healing." Mendeecees decided to go live on social media for the first time since the issue started because they were having trouble controlling the conversation. "I can't allow lies to ruin me, even when I am aware of what is being said about me. My wife, I know you're hurting, too. I apologize for everything, including the things I did not do. I've been through worse in my life, and I'll get through this, too." Hundreds of thousands of people watched the live video. When it went viral in a matter of minutes, and comments included both praise and criticism. The biggest response came from Tamar herself, who tweeted the word enough as soon as the live event ended. One fan said he's just trying to save his image, and another said, "This man sounds broken." That one comment sparked more speculative comments, raising questions about whether she was responding to his apologies, or if she was simply tired of being the center of attention. However, despite her efforts to rebuild her life, Yandy's silence turned into a message unto itself. Her previous interviews, which she discussed loyalty and made statements like, "You can tell it's over when a woman stops talking," were circulated by fans. Yandy was focused on her children and avoided the internet as much as possible, according to people close to her. Yandy's in survival mode right now. She is not considering social media or celebrity. According to a friend, things took an even more severe turn when Tamar's legal team held a brief press conference outside the courthouse. It has to do with responsibility. The footage of the incident went viral on all entertainment channels, and the phrase "share her truth" became the weekly catchphrase. "Publicity isn't the point of this lawsuit," her attorney said softly in response to reporters' questions about whether Tamar would testify. "My client has been deeply affected by this incident, and we trust the legal system to handle it appropriately." As the case gained traction, more witnesses reportedly came forward, including one who allegedly room. Although it was difficult to confirm the veracity of the statement, it added to the already tense situation. As fans flooded comment sections with theories and bloggers jumped on the news immediately, analyzing every alleged detail in the middle of all this drama. Tamar said on her Instagram account, "Sometimes being strong means leaving quietly. I no longer struggle to be correct. I'm fighting for my freedom." Her supporters loved and encouraged her, sending prayers and words of support. But everyone was shocked by Mendeecees' response. After seeing the connection, fans deduced that Tamar was the target of the enigmatic comment, "People love to play victim." When they can't control the narrative within hours of him posting it, he had to remove the story entirely in a matter of minutes because of the outburst of rage in his comments section. After that, the tone of public discourse drastically shifted. What had seemed to be a scandal was now being presented as a social conversation about celebrity, responsibility, and managing one's emotions. The reality TV culture that had first made all three of them famous began to face criticism. Had their years in the spotlight prevented them from resolving their differences in private? Had celebrity blurred the line between performance and reality? These kinds of questions dominated talk shows, podcasts, and social media discussions for days. According to insiders, Mendeecees was considering filing a defamation countersuit, claiming that his reputation had been unfairly damaged. He's tired of being painted as a monster. One insider said this revelation further polarized fans. He wants to fight back legally now. While some believed it was just another attempt to scare Tamar, others believed he should have an equal chance to defend himself. Mendeecees was seen entering his lawyer's office with a furious demeanor. Yandy remained the story's unseen protagonist throughout, appearing composed but serious as she ran errands in front of photographers. According to people close to her, she was already leaving the shared house. taking only the things that meant the most to her and the kids. One insider said she was no longer angry. The statement she's just done suggests that she had already closed the chapter in her heart. Before the paperwork was signed, the story continued as the days stretched into weeks. Every new image or post sparked new speculation, and every new piece of information sparked new conversations. However, one thing became clear in the midst of the ongoing chaos. None of the participants would ever be the same. Their popularity, which had turned personal grief into public amusement, had made their suffering worse, and nobody could tell if this was the end of the story, or just the beginning of a new one, because everyone was waiting for the next headline. The city was still in disbelief when fresh details about Tamar Braxton's ongoing legal battle began to surface. Insiders say she met with her legal team almost daily to meticulously prepare her case against Mendeecees. Sources describe her as laser-focused and determined, which contrasts sharply with the public's perception of her vulnerability in social media posts. Tamar's friends say she spent hours reviewing every text, phone call, and social media exchange to make sure her story would be perfect in court. While Tamar remained in preparation mode, Mendeecees became increasingly isolated. Paparazzi caught him leaving his house late at night while he was on the phone with his lawyer. Often wearing a somber expression, supporters speculated about the talks, believing they were preparing countersuits or damage control.